Thought power. Every single thought of Mother is the outcome of supreme beatitude, the playful expression of bliss. And on closer scrutiny, you will find every fiber of her being vibrant with divine bliss. In order to play her Ananda Leela with her children, Ma has taken on a bodily form, with all the joys of the divine. It is but natural that for the good of all human beings, the best ideas on life and spiritual culture should find expression and develop and take shape through her and finally vanish into the unknown. If one studies Ma closely, one will find that she unfolds herself in two ways. First, the beauty of her outward behavior towards all people. And secondly, the grace of her inner life, the perfectly calm, sweet, and natural manner which she manifests with all classes of people, whether they are the most pious or sinful, with little children and restless youth, as well as with old people bent down by age and infirmities. And this reveals a wonderful grace, exquisite beauty and dignity, which at once captivate all hearts. Her other mode of life deals with the forces and powers of the invisible world, those heavenly agents in corporeal beings that bring happiness and misery, blessings and curses on mankind. The interplay of these two aspects of her life is wonderfully coherent and close. During her younger days, as well as after coming to Dhaka, Mother spent much of her time lying on a bed. We came to know that she lost herself for hours together in divine ecstasy, with no words at all, just silence. In this condition, she passed sometimes several days in nirvikalpa samadhi, in deep self-absorption. And later, during kirtans and dances, her body took on various poses, all indicating a state of supreme bliss. In 1926, there was a kirtan party in the Shahbag Gardens on the occasion of about middle of January. It was a Sankranti. It was the first public kirtan celebration in Mother's presence. About this time, Sri Shashabhushan Das Gupta came to Chittagong. At the first sight of Mother, his heart was filled with a spirit of deep devotion. There was quite a rush of people at that time. He was gazing at Mother's face, and tears streamed down his cheeks. He said to me, "I find before me what I have never seen in my whole life. She appears to me to be the visible embodiment of the Mother of the universe." Kirtan started at 10 a.m. while Mother was putting vermilion on the foreheads of the assembled ladies. Suddenly, the vermilion case dropped from her hand. Her body sank down flat to the ground and began to roll. Then she slowly rose and stood on the two big toes of her feet. Both hands were raised straight up, her head slightly tilted to one side and a little backwards, and her radiant eyes stared with a steady gaze towards the far end of the sky. A little later, she began to move in that posture. Her body appeared to be filled with a heavenly presence. She paid no heed to her clothes hanging loosely on her person. No one had the power or the inclination to stop her. Her whole body danced on with measured beats in a most delicate way and reached the place where kirtan was going on. Her body then noiselessly melted down upon the floor. It rolled on, led by some mysterious power, like the dry leaves of a tree moved slowly by a gentle breeze. After some time, while still lying on the floor, very soft, sweet musical strains came from her lips. Hari Murari, Madhu Katebari. Tears rolled down her cheeks in an unbroken stream. After some hours, she recovered her normal condition. Her glowing face, her sweet, ineffable looks, her soft, tender voice, brimming over with emotion, all reminded the people assembled of the images of Sri Chaitanya Deva, as described in his biographies. All the physical changes observed long, long ago in Lord Gauranga manifested themselves again in her person on that occasion. At dusk, when Mother entered the kirtan hall, all the symptoms of the midday trance reappeared. After a lapse of some time, she uttered words with such clear, soft accents and sweet thrills of divine emotion that the audiences were speechless with heavenly bliss. After the distribution of sweets at the end of the kirtan, Mother herself distributed prasad with so much grace and elegance, and there was such an expression of divine motherliness in her manner that the people felt Mother Lakshmi must be incarnate in her body. Shashi Babu and others present realized that day that Mother's body was but a vehicle for the infinite grace of God. About that time, Niranjan, he was an income tax officer posted in Dasa, came to Dhaka as Assistant Commissioner of the Income Tax. One evening I went to Shahbag with him when the new moon kirtan songs were being sung. As the kirtan progressed, many changes became visible in Mother. She sat up very straight, then her head gradually bent backwards till it touched her back. Hands and feet twisted and twined till the whole body fell flat on the floor. In concord with her breath, her body was thrown into rhythmic surges like waves, and with her limbs stretched out, it rolled on the ground in time to the music, just as the fallen leaves of a tree roll on lightly, blown by the wind. So light and delicate were her movements. No human being, in spite of his best efforts, could have imitated them. Everybody present felt that Mother was dancing under the impact of heavenly forces, which moved her whole being in wave-like thrills. Many tried to stop her without any success. At last her movement ceased, and she remained motionless like a lump of clay. She appeared to be steeped in all-permeating, all-pervading bliss. Her countenance was aglow with a heavenly light, her whole body overflowing with divine ananda. Niranjan stood dumb, watching the sight for the first time in his life, and was reciting a hymn in praise of the goddess of the universe. And he exclaimed, "Today I have seen a real goddess." On another occasion, there was quite a crowd of people during kirtan at Shahbag. Mother went into a state similar to one just described, but this time she reclined on the floor from her sitting posture. Her breath was almost suspended. She stretched out her hands and feet and lay on the ground with her face downward. Then she rolled on nimbly in a wave-like motion. After a while, like one overwhelmed by a great upward surge, she rose from the ground slowly, without any support, and stood upon her two big toes, barely touching the ground. Her breath appeared to have stopped completely. Her hands were lifted up towards the sky. Her body had only very slight contact with the ground. Her head was bent backwards, touching her back. The eyes were directed towards the mid-sky with a glowing stare. As a wooden doll moves about under the pull of a hidden string held by the operator behind the screen. She stepped along. Her eyes were radiant with a divine glow. Her face beamed with a heavenly sweet smile, and her lips sparkled with joy. After a short while, supporting her whole body on her two big toes and keeping time with the kirtan, she moved like a being of the air, as if the whole weight of her body was being pulled up by some invisible power from above. She remained in this posture for a long time. Afterwards, her eyes slowly closed, and she lay on the ground like a lump of flesh, her head bent backwards. Next morning, at about 10 a.m., she came back to her normal state.